Oh, man. What in the mother F is up? It's Spencer here from Rover Sports. Spencer, Spencer. And what's going on, guys? Always kind of a unique intro. I don't have that patented line down like JC does, or what's going on, guys. It's UCF Jaguar. The way Dalton does it is pretty interesting. UCF Jaguar, and him and the Sports Fury were out. But anyway, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a lot about one of my favorite topics, and that is dissecting quarterback play and dissecting college football. I might do a strictly college football podcast or a video this week analyzing the playoff situation, predicting games this week, so I won't spoil any of those picks. Right now, I'm just going to talk about quarterbacks that are in the 2019 draft. And this, to me, is a really fun topic. It's always fun to project how these guys are going to fare at the next level. So I'm going to rank my 5, and I don't think I'm going to do this every week, but maybe every 3 to 4 weeks I do this. Let's start with number 5 and then go down the list towards number 1, because it's always exciting when number 1's the last one, kind of like the draft lottery. Number 5 on this list is a guy that if the New York Giants selected this guy, I would not be incredibly excited about. But this guy has a chance to be a decent NFL player. Whew. It's actually between two guys. We have Clayton Forson from Northwestern, a kid that is a little bit agile, decent arm strength, good leader. So I like Forson. And then just outside the top 5 is Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham is an accurate passer, very mature personality, can be quick, can be athletic enough to extend. The problem is with Jarrett Stidham, his pocket awareness is terrible. He locks on the one read. He's going to get sacked, and the speed, if the SEC speed is the SEC speed is awesome, but if the SEC speed is too fast for Stidham, then him translating to an NFL offense from Malzahn, it's going to take years of development. Stidham is an accurate passer, and he does have a lot of ability throwing the deep ball. But right now, that team is really sputtering, and he's a long way from how he looked against Washington. Against Washington, there were throws where you look at Stidham and think that this guy could be, an NFL quarterback, and I certainly think Stidham is going to be drafted in the first 3 rounds, but he's inconsistent. He's like a Deshaun Kaiser in terms of his draft profile. Not in terms of playing style. In terms of playing style, Stidham is a little bit like a Bryce Petty in terms of he can be a little bit fast, he can actually thread the needle, and there's a chance Stidham will actually be good at the NFL level because he is very mature and he's smart. So we're going to have to see. Clayton Forson, again, inconsistent production, and frankly, I just don't know if the guy's going to pan out at the NFL level. But let's keep the list moving. He's just has inconsistent production. The arm strength's okay. I actually like Stidham's arm strength more, but the arm strength isn't even that great. The mobility isn't even that great. Played in an old school offense. Just not the most exciting name. I wouldn't be thrilled if the Giants were tracking him out as the quarterback. I think he's okay, and he'll be an average like a Tannehill or an Andy Dalton in the NFL. But again, we'll see if Forson balls out and can change my mind. Again, we'll see. This is an adaptable list. Number 4. This is where we're going to be getting in the fun names. Number 4 is a guy that if the Giants selected him, I am going with 4 and 3. It's very there's one clear-cut guy at number 1 that is a really almost flawless prospect, and then there are 3 names that get you out of your seat and excite you. I am going to go with number 4, and the reason I'm putting this guy at number 4 is there's a lot of things that are up in the air with this guy. Number 4 to me is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray to me is one of the great, great competitors that we have in 21st century sports. Kyler Murray didn't lose a game at Allen, Texas in high school. Kyler Murray is tough. Kyler Murray cried when he put up 45 points against Texas. He truly embodies that he hates to lose. He's one of the clutchest athletes in all of football and sports. He's so clutch. What if you were going to pick a college football quarterback to have your last drive, it's either Tua or it's Kyler Murray. Those are the two clutch quarterbacks in college football. Maybe Trace McSorley, in third. But Kyler Murray, the guy can throw it such a long way. So the arm strength is there. The speed of Kyler Murray, he's so fast. Could you imagine a backfield with Kyler Murray, Odell Beckham, and Saquon Barkley? I mean, you're looking at what Matt Nagy is doing. You're watching Baker Mayfield at 6 feet and Russell Wilson. Quarterbacks now are going to be able to thrive in the NFL because size doesn't matter as much. Now, Kyler is very, very small. He's like 5'9". And is Kyler completely dedicated to the sport of football? I mean, he's probably going to go to Major League Baseball. He was the 8th pick in Major League Baseball, but I'd love to see Kyler Murray play in the NFL. Like, now my concerns about Murray are he could go to the wrong place. He's very tiny, so durability is a question mark. And at Texas A&M, he wasn't very good playing against SEC defenses. Now, you can argue that that Kevin Sumlin didn't really teach up quarterbacks that well because Trevor Knight was just okay at Texas A&M. Khalil Tate's not playing well with Kevin Sumlin either. But Kyler Murray's success in college football, it hasn't been flawless. And Lincoln Riley is certainly a really creative offensive mind. And a lot of these games, the Big 12 defenses like Baylor, teams that he's beaten up on, even UCLA's defense, these are not the best of the best defenses. So I want to see Kyler do it against the highest level. If Alabama in the national championship, because I think Alabama's going to the playoff, I think other than Clemson, Alabama would not want to play Oklahoma. So my college football rankings, I'd put Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, just in terms of teams that I think are the best teams in college football. Now, Oklahoma might miss out on the playoffs with the one loss to Texas, where Bob Stoops was still doing a terrible job. But I believe Kyler Murray's so clutch that if you put Kyler in the playoffs, Kyler can end up winning some games. So, hey, I'm still doing a video.
I know.
I'm doing a video. I mean, what, you came down here, interrupted the video?
Just make sure you turn the light on.
Yeah, I will. I was just taken aback here because it's late here on the East Coast, and somebody ended up coming in to do the video. So, but I'm gonna continue anyway. So Kyler Murray at number 4, number 3, and then again, I love doing these videos. I really do. It's fun. Number 3. Now these are going to be quarterbacks that are going to be going to the NFL. I'm not sure that this quarterback is going to come out this year. Actually, I'm going to take Drew Locke and I'm going to make him go. This is the toughest one. These last 3 are really, really tough. I'd be thrilled to have even Kyler Murray I would accept on the Giants, but these 3 are guys that are tough to mark down. Just because of the inconsistent production, I'm going to put Daniel Jones at number 3. Daniel Jones is from Duke. He has a lot of things you look for in a quarterback. He has big-time arm talent, big-time athlete. Remember with the Trubisky video, we just talked about how athletes now really run the NFL and how you have Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, guys that can move, are guys that you can easily run RPO stuff with. Daniel Jones is a great athlete. He can even do RPO, which is honestly fantastic. He can even run faster than Drew Locke. The problem is with Jones is he coming out, and also the production hasn't been the same, and also Daniel Jones is very, very quiet. We don't know a whole lot about him, but Cutcliffe said he was quiet. Now, the great thing about Daniel Jones is that Daniel Jones is a David Cutcliffe disciple, which means that we will now be going from Eli Manning who actually Eli Manning at Ole Miss had David Cutcliffe as his head coach. Peyton Manning had Cutcliffe at Tennessee. The whole Manning family loves and adores David Cutcliffe. Cutcliffe is like an uncle to Eli Manning, and he is like part of the Manning family. And Cutcliffe coached Daniel Jones. So the great news is that Eli would really love to mentor Daniel Jones because they're both Cutcliffe guys, and the transition would be absolutely perfect. If I were Daniel Jones, you need to come out this year because the Giants are a team that would be a great spot for you, and Tua is next year. Nobody is even going to come close to Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa, it's a tough name to say, but Tua is the best quarterback in all of football. I think Tua Tagovailoa, if you put him in the NFL right now, he can be just as good as Mahomes. I truly believe that. For the next 15 years, if you had to start a franchise, it's Tua. So if the Giants have a great year this year, maybe the Giants can find a way to acquire some assets and some picks, and then they can trade up to number 1 to get Tua in 2019, which is also would be a dream scenario. Tua is my favorite player in all of football, across every level of football. He is just magnificent, a magician, a wizard, an assassin, the messiah of football, like a messiah, holier-than-thou character. He's an amazing football player, amazing person. Enough about Tua, though. Let's go to the final two. Final two players. Drew Locke and Justin Herbert. So the tier, though, that I talked about was Drew Locke is right here and Herbert's like right there. Because Drew Locke, there's some red flags with him. One, Drew Locke's percentage, his winning percentage against teams that are decent is really terrible. I'd say Drew Locke's best win as a college football quarterback, they're hard to find really, really good wins on the schedule. I know he beat Tennessee. I know he beat Florida. He nearly beat Georgia a couple of years ago. You can argue that, as crazy as this sounds, and this goes to my point, the best win that Drew Locke has in his career is against Purdue. It might be at Arkansas, where he was magnificent, incredible in that game, actually. I'll put the Arkansas game from last year, a big rivalry game where Austin Allen and him were dueling it out. But Drew Locke last year, he was beating up on McElwain, on Butch Jones, on all these guys. The fact is, Drew Locke, from a talent standpoint, one of the most fun prospects you'll ever see, one of the highest ceilings you'll ever see. And Drew Locke in the right system could make you regret not taking him in the draft because he does have Mahomes-like qualities. His arm strength is right up there with Mahomes. I'm telling you, like, he might even have a bigger arm than Mahomes. He's a freak of nature as a thrower of the ball. The problem is that Mahomes has a great feel for the pocket, and Drew Locke doesn't have a feel for the pocket. Drew Locke, at times, his body language isn't always great. He can be kind of, like in that Georgia game, he didn't show a lot of fight. Sometimes he can quit on a ball game. So he's not going to elevate his team, unfortunately, like Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was a success wherever he went. Deshaun Watson elevates teams. I'm not sure Drew Locke does it. The good news about Locke from a personality standpoint is that he had opportunities to go to Michigan and really high-profile schools, and he decided to really stay loyal to the Missouri Tigers because his dad went there, his grandfather went there, 3 generations of Locks went to Columbia, and that's why Drew Locke decided to stay at Missouri. So that speaks to his character, though, that this guy is loyal and this guy cares about program and this guy cares about Missouri. And Drew Locke, if he was for the Giants, it would be so exciting because he's such a dynamic player. Things would need to be simplified, but the downfield throwing game, every game would be must-see. But Drew Locke could bust because his pocket awareness isn't that good. He locks on the one read, and the speed of the game might be too fast for Locke. and who knows if he's going to learn the NFL that well. So there are some concerns, though, with Locke, some real football concerns. The next guy that I'm going to say is the number one player, Justin Herbert. And I appreciate everybody watching this video. I know it's actually running pretty long. Justin Herbert, and I'm going to end this pretty soon. Justin Herbert's a flawless prospect. Justin Herbert's not as exciting as Drew Locke, but Justin Herbert has a perfect personality for New York. This guy is really smart. He reminds me a lot of Trubisky, you know. The guy's smart. I think he has a higher ceiling than Trubisky, though, because he's a better thrower of the ball. He's athletic, which for the way football is going, is going to be always a positive. He can really move. He's very mobile, throws well on the run. The touch is there. The arm strength is decent, decent enough. I think it could be good arm strength, a little bit above average. The guy checks every box. His personality is great. He's an academic All-American, a 4.0 student, very quiet, unassuming guy, very similar to an Eli personality for a New York Giant, where a guy you don't have to worry about him late at night, and decent leader. Now, he is quiet. He's not the Baker Mayfield type of guy. I'd say that the guy, from a leadership standpoint, is going to be a leader like a little bit of an Andrew Luck, where he's just going to let his play do the talking. He's very laid back, very likable player, likable character, kind of like Sam Darnold in terms of his personality. An Oregon kid, from Portland, Oregon, or he's actually from Eugene and went to Oregon. And this guy wasn't even recruited very well, which is crazy. At 6'6", this guy is tall, and he wasn't recruited at all very well by teams in the Power 5, and he ended up just going to Oregon because Oregon had great access to his tape. But the guy's going to have a chip on his shoulder because of that. Drew Locke's going to have a chip on the shoulder. Justin Herbert's going to have a chip on the shoulder. So I really appreciated you guys watching this video. Might have ran a little bit longer than some of you may like, but I hope you guys all found some parts entertaining. Hopefully found the whole thing decently entertaining. So thank you guys for watching. Take care. Have a great night.